Hello, Faith Eater, and welcome to Breaktime. Psalm 18:22 says, "All his laws are before me. I have not turned away from his decrees." David followed the law. David followed the ways of the God. But here's what's really interesting. David followed wisdom. He rejected anything that was not the way of wisdom. Now, in our lives, there's lots of things that probably come across our path that invite themselves in for an answer. That's the way I see it. It invites its way. It invites a worldly principle for my answer. But here's what I'm learning. The more I accept the wisdom that this world may offer me and reject the wisdom that God has clearly proclaimed, the more consequences, the harder life becomes, the more I invite anxiousness and all the other stuff that wants to come into my life, the louder it becomes. But when I reject God's laws, there are going to be consequences for us, for you and for me. But God invites us into a relationship of wisdom. He invites us in to participate with daily instruction. Teach me your ways, God. Find favor in me to teach me your ways. And so your workplace, my workplace is no different. I need to seek the advice of God. If I'm not seeking the advice of God, I'm seeking some sort of advice. Maybe there's some sort of standard out there that I'm supposed to live by, but yet it may reject what God is saying is better or what is wise. Don't you want to be a person that's remarked for their wisdom, that understands things in a knowledgeable way, the way that God would understand them? But wisdom takes not only the knowledge of what God has said, it applies what God has said. That's what David did. He knew it, but he also did another thing. He rejected anything that was contrary to the knowledge of God, and he would apply it. That means he took the very principle, the very truth, the very teaching, and he reacted in it in his life. His life was taught by the word of God. And so that begs me to ask you and to ask me, who is teaching me my way of life? Whose instructions am I following? Are they aligned with what God's wisdom has clearly proclaimed? Or are they contrary? If they're contrary, it's simple. Reject it. You don't have to accept it, no matter who's teaching it. If your workplace is teaching something that's contrary to the wisdom and the law of God, you don't have to live in it. You need to reject it because there will be consequences. That's what David rejected. He turned his back on anything that was contrary to the wisdom of God. I think we need to turn our backs on some things. Be careful that you're not accepting me, I'm talking to me as well, a worldly wisdom instead of godly wisdom. You, my friend, have a very blessed day walking in the godly wisdom God